So in today's world and economy, customers are faced with an increased volatility of market expectation and also customer expectation relative to their experience. So we talk about these four elements of increased agility, high productivity across the entire supply chain, and being able to be well connected with the entire business network because I'm relying on my suppliers, I'm relying on manufacturers and distribution partners, etc. And then also being able to drive a very sustainable supply chain. So synchronized planning is a driver for companies to synchronize these processes digitally and becomes kind of the heart and the nerve center of every company as they're trying to make decisions in their different business planning environments. So typically the challenges without a digital planning environment is that I need to be able to be close and intimate with the customer to understand future-looking demands much more closely, and also cater to the overall experience that not just starts with an order that is being placed and is being delivered on time, but also throughout the entire life cycle, how I'm supporting that customer. And in some industries talk about that circular economy also through returns and repair and recycling processes. That all needs to be factored into my overall plan. And then throughout the company, you have different stakeholders, be that your customer service team, your finance team, operations team, and they all have a different view of the plan that are potentially expressed in different aggregation level, different dimensions. Marketing looks at different promotions. Product management looks at new products. They look at different packaging, different attributes of the product. And then you look at your operation and suppliers that are very much focused on efficiency and productivity. For example, on the manufacturing side, lowering the amount of changeover. So these are all essentially sometimes contradicting goals that have to be brought together in a planning environment to react to any kind of changes in the market a lot faster. And then last but not least, it's that visibility that oftentimes does not exist in close to real time. So oftentimes I have a view of my supply chain that looks at a status from yesterday or from last week. So companies need a lot closer visibility of where their perpetual inventories are, what are in transits, what is work in process. And we call this sort of the digital supply chain twin that companies need in order to be able to see what is happening in their supply chain and see if there's anything that has an impact to the overall business. So with our strategy, we're putting all of these different layers together in a cohesive environment where we have that digital supply chain twin giving me the overall visibility of my supply chain, including what's going on in my business network, and doing that digitally in real time. And then on top of that digital supply chain twin, I can now apply very powerful solvers that look at different events that are happening in the supply chain or in the market, and being able to make sense out of these relative to the impact to my business, and being able to make confident decisions, looking also at different scenarios side by side. And in the same environment, we're bringing these different stakeholders together that look at the plan from a different perspective. They have to build a consensus and make a decision jointly as to move the business forward. So one set of analytics and KPIs, key performance indicators that I agree on that are attainable for my business. For example, growth, or lowering my inventory, or increasing the customer service levels. So the plan is always expressed into these business drivers that I want to achieve. Now, synchronized planning is taking this a step further to synchronize this vertically through all the layers of my strategic plan, operational plan, and down to my scheduling what is happening on the day-by-day basis, for example, on a factory machine level. So really connecting my board level decision making all the way down to the machine. And we're accomplishing this by adopting completely new paradigms, by connecting my integrated business planning environment, for example, with production planning and detailed scheduling and transportation management, so that I'm connecting all of the different business drivers and business decisions that I'm making in integrated business planning, that I can turn around when I'm doing these decisions, that I can execute it right away from the same environment. This also caters to a new type of planner, which we call the value stream planner, that is empowered to look at a centralized user interface and look at this from a financial outcome perspective as well as a projected planning perspective, with the aid of machine learning, to make confident decisions that are improving over time. So I can learn from my past how I have done certain decisions and what of these decisions were actually beneficial. What options did I have if there was a disruption? And being able to execute these from one single cohesive user interface. We call this the planner's workspace. So the planner doesn't even leave one user environment, one screen, to be able to see the context of a business condition or a business situation. What is the impact to my overall plan? How do I have to change? What are the options that I have? And then how can I execute that confidently? With that, we believe we're really changing the game, providing a cloud-based solution that can be adopted very, very quickly. We call this an IBP Jumpstart, where we work together with partners to give customers a program where they can implement a digital planning environment in a matter of like 90 days. So this shouldn't be hard anymore, and this doesn't mean a long implementation time, but something that customers can adopt right away. As we have seen last year going through this pandemic, customers needed to have something quickly. So we have taken a lot of these learnings, how to jumpstart these customers in a digital planning environment where I can have powerful real-time analytics paired with scenario capabilities and financial planning capabilities in really one environment, and being able to execute that from the same. So thank you very much for listening to this, and with that, I'm closing it out.